back, folks. Here's a fun fact for your day. Most of Texas is some form of grassland. I didn't know that. We're honoring the ecoregions of our state today with our friend Lance Robertson of PLance. Lance, good morning.
Good morning.
So we're talking grasses. Tell me why so.
You know, grasses are our biggest native plant, and they are everywhere. They're ubiquitous. They're so much so that they get lost in a lot of landscapes. Especially we see them on highways and freeways and just get lost in the background. But really, there's a giant world of grasses because Texas is basically just one big mix of grasslands.
I am really surprised to hear that. Is it just that it's the correct mix of soil, rain, that sort of thing?
Mostly, I believe it's because of the rain. Grass can go incredibly long periods without water, hundreds of days without water, and when it gets water, it can take all the water, just like how it rains here. When it rains, we get all the rain and everything is muddy, and then when it dries out, it stays dry for a really long period, and grasses really thrive in that environment.
Okay. Yeah, and I know sometimes they can look dead, but maybe they aren't dead. This is kind of part of the natural cycle.
Absolutely. Grass has a dormant period. It's how it survives. It's why we do have grass everywhere. Be it summer or winter, there's going to be a time period where it doesn't look the best. But to my eye, at least, something like the maidenhair grass we have over there, sure, that's a dead looking grass, but it's a giant grass with flowers, and it really will stay just like this through January or February and look great, especially in masses.
You kind of just have to like reframe your brain to like what looks nice.
Not just that, you just have to see it in the place where it goes. Too often we go out to Enchanted Rock. Everyone thinks, oh my goodness, it's amazing, it's beautiful. What is in all those little pockets of rock but these ornamental grasses that we can then pluck out and use in our landscape the same way? In some of the driest locations in Texas, we can still grow these grasses and they do phenomenally.
You wanted to mention the convergence of the four kind of ecoregions of Texas.
Yeah, the hill country is basically a grassland that goes up and down. Sure, we've got some junipers now. Sure, we have mesquites, but most of it is that grassland. The Blackland Prairie, if you're on the east side of 35 and have that black clay, you're part of the Blackland Prairie. You know, we are in this area, so not only do we have grasses, we have a lot of grasses. And many of them do really well here, whether it be in the shade by the creeks or in the hills, in the rock. There's a grass that has been tailor grown for eons to grow in that location.
So it makes it easier to grow it at your house.
Absolutely, because you can really set it and forget it. I hate to tell people that, but like that's what native plants are. And most often they have flowers or seeds that if it dies, a new generation will come up in its place because these are the plants that fit our ecosystems.
Gotcha. Okay, I do want to make sure that we talk about some of the things we've got here on the table and off. So let's start with a lovely dead-looking grass.
This is muley grass. I really like the muley grasses. There's pinks and whites and reds. There's a lot of different colors. Again, these are most well known for when they do flower. They blow in the breeze. They give a great texture, especially if you have a darker color house or if you want something to really pop from the background. These are amazing, and this is the height it gets. So you've got a little bit of a filler where you don't have to use the same old shrubs that we've been planting for 100 years at houses.
Yeah, speaking of lots of years, this goes all the way back potentially to the dinosaur age, right?
Yeah, the horsetail reeds are some of the oldest things that we would consider ornamental grasses. They're segmented, they look really unnatural a lot of times in our landscape. These are great in the shade, these are great in places where it fills with water periodically, so below drains. These really fill a great niche, and to me, especially in pots and in containers, they add a really cool element.
Well, this to me is a really gorgeous element as well. It's like that weeping willow effect.
Yeah, this is a sedge grass. So this is a variegated sedge grass, but this is definitely something most people would see starting to come up in their yard and think is a weed. These are some of the strongest plants. You'll almost never get rid of it. If you get it, you might as well take it and put it in your beds.
Enjoy it while you can. Okay, these two?
You know, I really love grandma. It's got these little flowers on it. To me, it's really what reminds me of being in West Texas as a little kid and picking these off and throwing them at siblings and all the lovely things that we do because it's something you almost can't help but grab when you're walking by them.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, what about this little guy? Nice and like a little haircut here.
Yeah, this is little blue stem. And the reason why I have these together is these are all the different grasses. Too many times we think just plain green grass. You know, we've got little blue stem that comes that blue-gray color. Of course, we've got purple fountain grass. It's one
And
that,
you said this is almost native, but we have done a little bit of breeding to make sure that it turns out more purple.
yeah, we want it to be as purple as possible. So of course we've not genetically modified them. We bred them for a very long period so that they are as purple as they can plausibly be. They also have these great flowers that also retain that purple color. So it's great when you're doing these fall baskets or mixes that the color schemes do really well.
Okay, and this one to me seems kind of pokey.
Yeah, this is blue dune grass. So really where this is a lot of South Texas, but it does well in areas, especially if you've got riverbank or grass. It gives that silvery texture that you don't get in a lot of places. And this is another one of those just unkillable grasses. They do so well. And in mass, they really show a great color.
Yeah, I do love the color. I think it's really cool. We'll have to leave it there. But you've actually made me excited about grass today, so I can't thank you anymore for that. That's really fun, Lance. I appreciate it as always. For more information or to ask a question, he's happy to help y'all for free. Visit plants.org.